Good morning, my loves. How y'all doing today? So, I'm coming to y'all with one of the posts that I like. I had to make a video for this one because I do have experience with this one here. So, this one says a narcissist will trap you by getting married, buying a house, having a child, being a main provider, just so you're not able to walk away from them or have them lose control. Okay? So, I was saying I experienced all of those because the biggest one was the house situation. Now, when I came into the relationship, for those of you who don't know the story, when I came into the relationship, I was in the process of moving here to Georgia, but ended up starting something with the narcissist before that happened. And so I ended up moving in with him. I had just put my I had already put my 2 weeks notice in at my job, and so I was actually on my last 2 weeks of working. And so after that, I wouldn't have a job because I'm planning on moving to Georgia. And so I didn't plan for the interception that ended up happening between me and the narcissist. And so we hit it off. I ended up moving in with him, and I ended up staying where I was at the time. But I couldn't go back and get my job because I had already put my 2 weeks notice in months ahead of time. And so they already had somebody to cover my position. So I couldn't turn right back around and be like, oh, so I changed my mind, I'm not moving anymore, I'm going to come back to work. No, it was already a sealed deal. And so at this point, I would have to find another job. Okay. So when I came into the relationship, the narcissist was the sole provider after all of my funds and things had ran out. He took on all my bills. He took care of me and my son or whatever. He put a roof over our head. And so he was the main provider in the beginning. And so at that time, he had control of me because it was like, where am I going to go? So even though it was a mind thing, we be feeling like we're trapped and we're stuck and we don't have nowhere to go. And some people do have in real life a place they don't have to go to. You know what I'm saying? But in my case, I had somewhere else that I could go, but I wanted to be with him and, start this new journey that we're on or whatever. Didn't expect all of these things to happen that happened. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know I was entering the gates of a narcissistic world until a year ago. It's when I found out that he was a narcissist. So he had me by the balls in the beginning of the relationship, and that's where he's always been trying to put me back. So when it comes to the house, okay, so we lived with the narcissist in his place for 6 months. We separated. He discarded me. Let's just be honest. He discarded me. I came to Georgia. He did it like in a way of not discarding me, but discarding me. So when you tell me you need space, I'm gonna give you space. You know what I'm saying? So he worded it just right, and I took it just how I took it. And so I left. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna need some space. I need to get my bank account built back up, this, that, and the third. And so I took that as a breakup. And so I made my arrangements and I came on to Georgia. He thought that because normally how it goes is they manipulate you. Excuse me. Excuse me. They manipulate you and discard you so that you would chase them. I did the total opposite. I didn't give him what he wanted, and I only chased him one time out of all the discards that he's done to me. I've only chased him once, and so he wants me back at the chasing stage, and he wants me at the stage where he is the main provider and he controlling everything. I wouldn't let it go back there. You only get me there once. You get me to chase you once, and you get to be able to be the sole provider once for me because I am a hustler. I work. I don't have a problem with working, and at that time didn't have an issue with working either. It was just that he was once again telling me that we were gonna move. We were supposed to move to his hometown. Excuse me. So there was no need for me to look for a job in the area that we're living in. I need to be looking for jobs in the area that we're looking to move to. And so that's what I was doing. But me not knowing I'm dealing with a narcissist in the beginning, not knowing that it is a possibility to move. But if I do, it would be the worst mistake of my life. But it didn't happen. So like I say, in some of my videos, I say God had his hands on me throughout that whole relationship, because certain things that I did want to do, certain things that I wanted to be a part of and interact in, God didn't let that happen. And I'm so glad and so thankful that I'm on this side and I can see those things now. And I can just be like, Lord, I thank you. I thank you for blocking that. I thank you for rejecting me in that area so I wouldn't have to go through those things. And so I went through enough hell in this relationship that I didn't need those kind of problems. So he's telling me that we're going to move. We go visit this place. We go look for places in this area and we find things, but he was always complaining about different stuff or just saying that he talked to the people. Even had me to the point where I'm ready to move. You telling me we finna move on Thursday, and then Thursday get here, now it's something different. You know what I'm saying? So he done that to me a whole bunch of times or whatever before he discarded me for the first time. So when he discarded me the first time or whatever, I said, okay, no problem. I made plans to haul tail to Georgia within 2 weeks. So I came back to him after I had done got everything situated. I said, okay, I'll be leaving in 2 weeks, which was October 13th. I said, I'll be leaving on the 13th. Because at this time, he was riding in the back seat. I had a whole video on that. He was just being petty. And I guess he was trying to make him look single when riding with me. Look real. You know what I'm saying? So he started riding in the back seat, just doing all kind of petty stuff. And so when I told him this, he was sitting in the back seat. So I could see in the mirror once I told him, okay, I'll be leaving on the 13th. His face dropped. Like, that's not really what I wanted you to do. But I'm still confused because I don't know he's a narcissist. I don't know this is a big old game to him. And what he wanted me to do was beg him, like, I don't want to go or this, that. I don't know what he thought I was supposed to do. But I'm not that type of girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really care for you. I really want to be with you. But if you telling me it's not working for you, I will move out the way and let you be great. And I'll go on about my business. It's not that serious. I don't beg nobody to be with me, but narcissists will have you doing things that you thought you would never do before, because like you think you strong when you get with a narcissist, but baby, they will show you just how you need to work on some things. Like, you ain't as strong as you thought you was in certain areas. Our narcissists will bring that out of you. They will have you so distraught, so confused, so mind blown that you don't know whether you're going left or right. You think that you actually are gone. You done lost it. All the sense that God gave you, you be feeling like you done lost all that and you don't know left from right. Like, it's crazy madness dealing with a narcissist, but it's real. It is real out here. It's a whole world full of narcissistic people who don't care who they hurt, how they hurt you, just as long as what they're doing to you benefits them. That's all that matters. But it's a thing. It's a real live thing that I had no idea about until I come on here telling my story and somebody said, have you ever looked into narcissism? And I had looked into narcissism before, but I was looking at it when I was dealing with the crackhead. That's another story. If y'all just stepping into my channel and getting to know me, all of my stories are, and I got over 1,000 videos, and so you have to go back to the beginning. I put all of this stuff out there, so it's like nothing that I'm talking about is not something that I've already talked about or mentioned. And so there is some things that I still haven't mentioned, but majority of this stuff that I'm saying right now, I've already made a video for. So there's a video about the relationship I was in with the crackhead and all this stuff. Go back, check that out. So when I was dealing with him, I ran across narcissism because the signs of a drug addict, a crackhead, were similar to narcissistic traits. And so that's how I actually found out about narcissism, but didn't, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, he's a crackhead, so we just gonna call it what it is. It's just the drugs that got him acting that way, and if he can get himself fixed from the drugs, then all of this stuff will subside. But they could be a narcissist and a drug addict all at the same time. And so all of those symptoms and traits are all mixed together, makes them a bigger monster. So when I came to YouTube and started telling my story, everybody was saying he sounded like a narcissist. You need to look into narcissism. And so when I did, baby, I dived down in that rabbit hole, and I'm telling you, that thing got me in a chokehold, because I'm like, I have real life I've been with a lot of narcissists. Him and the other one, the crackhead, weren't the only ones that I've been with that are narcissists. I've actually dated a lot of narcissists, but I didn't know what I was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Just thought these guys were just bad pickings. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was thinking. Didn't know that it was actually, I was dealing with crackheads. Well, drug addicts, alcoholics, and narcissists. Those are all the people that I dated that I can recollect. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he was trying to trap me by getting the house. So I go ahead, I move to Georgia. I find a place. I live with one of my sisters for I wouldn't even say a year. I think I stayed with her because I moved in with her in October, and then in March I got my place or whatever. We got our place. So at the time that I moved here, me and him were on a break. Okay, so I was under the impression that we were on a break. To him, like I said, he discarded me, but didn't discard me all at the same time. So when he wanted me to be his old lady, I was his old lady. At least I thought that we were together. See how confusing this mess is? So when I came back here, basically, in my mind, we were still together. Even though I said that he discarded me, but didn't discard me all at the same time, which had me confused, because I'm thinking when I got here, we're still together and we're just on a break. You know what I'm saying? He needs time because he said to me, I need you to go to Georgia, find us a place while I work on getting my account stacked back up and all this stuff, and then I'm going to come and join you when I get my money right. But I need space right now because I can't do it with you here, because then that means I'm going to be spending more money and this, that, and the third. And so I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I took it as a breakup, but then I took it as, okay, well, he didn't quite say that he don't want to be with me no more. He just said that he need me to go here and get the place or whatever. So I took it upon myself that he was breaking up with me. And so we kept in touch, we talked or whatever. And so he was telling me, break up for what? What's the breakup? You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. That's how he put it to me. So that's why I was confused. I'm like, well, you saying this, but you saying that, and now you're doing this, and now you're doing that. So it was all a ball of confusion. And so I was rolling with it because I really cared about the guy. I really loved him, wanted to be with him, wanted to marry him, wanted to have his kids, all that their stuff or whatever. And at this time, remember, I still don't know that he's a narcissist. For those who will come in the comments and be like, well, why you want to get a house with a narcissist? Why you want to have a baby with a narcissist? Why you want to marry a narcissist? Listen carefully to the story. I might be all over the place, but I think I'm making it pretty clear, because sometimes y'all like to get in the comments and be acting stupid. So we just gonna call it what it is. So put your listening ears on so you don't have to hit my comments with the stupid remarks, okay? All right. So I'm here in Georgia. I put the footwork in. I do what I need to do to find a place. I find a place. Now, he wishy-washy, because at this time, before I got the place, I ended up discarding him. So we're not together at this moment. So after I get the place sealed in, it's not fully sealed in. There's a couple of more things that I need to turn in to seal the deal. He came back in the process. So I ended up getting back with him, and now he is going on the lease. So like I said, I already had the place in the bag. So then when he came back, I added him to the lease. And so by the time he got added to the lease, once he came in, that's when everything was sealed. He paid the deposit. He paid for the lights and everything to get turned on. I never had a problem with him breaking bread or whatever. It was just the controlling stuff and all the unnecessary other things that came along with it, because he felt like if he paid the bills, if he did X, Y, and Z, then I shouldn't have anything to say about what he do that's disrespectful to the relationship or to me or whatever. So so we got the place together. He has not stayed in this place for a whole consecutive year yet. Now, when we got back together, as into sealing the deal with this place, COVID happened. So the longest he stayed in this place that I'm in now was 8 months. Once COVID got lifted and we were able to go back outside and all that other stuff, he discarded me. Okay? So now every time that he comes back into the relationship, now in the beginning of the relationship, he wasn't for no marriage. You know what I'm saying? Now when he came back into the situation and we end up getting the place, he suckered me back in by saying, I want to marry you. He didn't say or get down on his knees or anything like that. But that's what I had been wanting to hear from him for the longest. And so I rolled with it. I accepted it as it was a proposal. He didn't get down on one knee. He didn't get anything. He just said to me, I'm going to marry you. And he said these exact words. I'm going to marry you. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. I'm going to marry you. That was his proposal. But when I asked him about it, he was like, it's not a proposal. I just told you I'm going to marry you. And that's what I'm going to do. That is not how I planned for my marriage proposal to go down. Don't come tell me you gonna marry me. Get on your one knee. I deserve that. Get on your one knee and do it right. Unless you got a medical issue and you can't get down on your knee, sit in a chair or something. Do what you gotta do to make it right. That's all I'm saying. I'm worth it. If it was me and the shoe was on the other foot, I'm gonna go out my way. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get you that proposal. But hey, we ain't even talking about all that. So that's how he suckered me back in, by telling me that he wants to marry me. And I was okay and fine and dandy with it, but I was not for real comfortable with that, because I'm thinking like, okay, he did it this way, but later on with a ring, he didn't have a ring or anything while he's saying this. He's just speaking it. And I was okay with it. I was in a low place. I didn't think highly of myself at that time, but I did in the back of my mind. But I was still telling myself, okay, he gonna make up for it later. When he get the money to get the ring, he gonna get on his knee. He gonna do it the proper way. That's what I was holding on to. That ain't something he said to me. And so there's not a guarantee that the man was gonna propose to me the way that I wanted him to. He was leaving it just how it was, because it wasn't never gonna be a real proposal from the get-go. This was just to hoover me back into the relationship. And it worked. It didn't take much. It worked. So why I need to go back and try to do something different, because I got what I wanted. So he back in. I'm all happy that he even considering the fact of marrying me, because I got videos in the further back talking about how he done embarrassed me twice by somebody calling me his wife. This man would lose his bunkers if you walked up to us and said, your wife. He embarrassed me twice like that. I got videos about it or whatever. So for him to come back and be like, oh, I want to marry you. I'm like, but what happened to all that? You ain't my wife. I ain't put no ring on your finger, this, that, and the third. Did I propose to you? Did I propose to you? You know what I'm saying? That's how he would do me in front of people or whatever. So the fact that he's singing a different tune now, he want to marry me, I thought that it was, the man was changed. That's what I thought. But I didn't know it was a narcissist. I didn't know he was just doing what he had to do to get back in the door. And I fell for it. I did. So he gets here and he only staying 4 to 6 to 8 months at a time. A year. We had this place now for almost 6 years. And out of the 6 years, me and him was together for 4.5. Out of that 4.5, well, I'm gonna say the last 3 years of our relationship, he came here and he stayed maybe for 4 months, 6 months, and 8 months. 8 months would be when we first got the place and COVID happened. If it wasn't for COVID, he probably would have been out of here before then too. But the most he stayed is 8 months. He have not stayed a whole consecutive year in this spot. So now he done discarded me over 10 times. When I got to 7, I stopped counting. But it's been over 10 times that this man done ran back and forth out of my life, and I allowed it. Because each time I thought he got better. I thought he changed. But I didn't know I was dealing with a narcissist. So that's how he got that many chances. You know what I'm saying? You call it stupid. I say if you ain't never been with a narcissist before, you don't know our pain. But the people who know and done been through this, y'all know what I'm talking about. Because you done been there before. You know how hard it is to just walk away from somebody that you genuinely love, but they despise you. They can't stand you because you're everything that they want to be, but they can't obtain it themselves. And so they got to knock you off your block to make themselves feel good. They got to try to control you to make themselves feel like a big person. They got to make you feel this small so that they can feel this big over you. But they have to try to keep you down because they know when you back to your normal self, you'll run circles around them. You'll pick them up, throw them on their head, bounce back, get back up again, and dust yourself off, and you'll be a new, clean slate. They can't do that. And so that's why they hate you, because you know how to do that. If I keep you down and never let you back up, I ain't got to worry about you looking better than me, feeling better than me, obtaining more beautiful things than me. They need somebody to be 100% lower than them so that they can feel this big. That's what narcissists do. But they come into your life to help you. They shed light on the things that you need to work on yourself in these relationships. I'm telling you, I don't like that I had to go through all of the stuff that I went through, but I do all at the same time appreciate the lesson that I learned out of it. And it got me to loving myself. So it really, if one good thing came out of that, I would say finding me and loving me a lot more than what I've ever done in my entire life. I thank God for putting that stumbling block right in front of me, because it got me just where I needed to be. So I'm thankful in that case. Do I wish it on anybody else? No, I don't. But sometimes they're allowed to be in your life for you to get a little bit stronger in certain areas in your life that you need to work on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not praising the narc. I'm growing. And I can find the beauty in everything in life now. So even in my hard lessons, I'm still seeing God. I'm still seeing the blessings, because falling in love with myself ain't a bad thing. It's not. I have been loving everybody else and everything else but Shalissa. And Shalissa has been neglected for a very, very long time, and she needed to love herself. She didn't need love from other people. She needed love from herself. And so I'm thankful that I'm giving myself that love, because I was disappearing. I didn't know who I was. All I knew is how to be in somebody else's life, how to be supportive to somebody else's dream, how to be everything else, make sure I'm there for somebody else. But I'm never there for myself. And so in this time, in this lesson, I'm learning to be there for me. Love me. I am just as important as I make everybody else and everything else. I am just as important. I can't expect somebody else to love me more than I love myself. I gotta love me. And so now in my season where I'm at right now, I'm loving me. I got to. You got to. You know what I'm saying? You done been through enough in your life. It's time to love you. And instead of waiting on somebody else to come and love you, love your daggone self. That's the best love you give yourself, is loving you. So he only lived here for a certain amount of time, and then he bounces. So every time he came back, he always trying to find some reason, something wrong with the place, so we can move. So I was comfortable here. I could afford this by myself. He knew that. So what he wanted me to do was to move into something that I would have to depend on him to put his part in order for it to keep standing. Because when he left me all those times, When he came back and checked in after that first time he discarded me, he said something that keep ringing in my head. And I had said it to him. Because when he called in, he was like, oh, how's everything going? I say, everything going good. I miss you or whatever. He was like, I was like, I miss you and I wish you would come home or whatever. And he was like, what you need me to come back for? You got everything under control. You don't need me to come back. And so when he said that, I instantly thought, oh, so you did this to leave me for dead. I said, that's what you thought. I said, so you thought you left me for dead. And that when you called back in, that I was going to be crying and saying, oh, I done lost the place. I done lost my car. We ain't got no food. We ain't doing this and we ain't doing that. That's what he was expecting when he called to check in. But when I hit him with the everything is fine. Oh, all the bills is paid. This, that, and the third. And I wasn't even being cocky. I was just telling him that, you know, I've been maintaining this while you've been gone. You still have a home to come back to. In my mind, that's what I was thinking. That's how I was coming out with it. Like, oh, I'm good over here. Like, I still got the place. You can still come home and, you know what I'm saying, we straight over here. And for him to say, oh, well, what you need me to come home for? You got everything under control. You don't need my help. I'm like, I don't need your help. But I mean, I want you here. Like, you supposed to be here. We got this place together. Like, get your junk together and come back home. Like, what is your problem? You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted him like that. I didn't know he was a narcissist at the time. So, yes, I'm begging for him to come back home because I am sick behind this man being gone or whatever. But we ain't getting all into that because that was a whole nother video. That's all in the videos, y'all. But he would come back, and every time he comes back, he's talking about, oh, we need to move out of this trailer or whatever. It's falling apart. It's this, that, it's that. I'm like, listen, this may not be the best of home, but it has been home for X, Y, and Z. I said, and you haven't even been in here long enough to holler about why we need to move. You haven't even stayed your time that you're supposed to be here in this place. And so every time you come back, you hollering about let's move, let's move, let's move, let's move. And so I'm telling him, I'm like, okay, if I move, it need to be something that I can afford. Because he was like, you don't need to worry about having nothing that you can afford because I'm going to be here, this, that. I'm like, but no, you like to keep bouncing around and stuff. So I don't know. I said, I'm not finna just uproot myself, me and my son, for us to be out here homeless again. I said, I made a vow to myself to never be homeless again. I said, and I can't trust you with that. I said, because you done left too many times. And by this time, when I'm having this conversation with him, we were about to move. I'm sorry, scratch that. We weren't about to move. He doesn't listen. But he loved to say that to me. He loved to say, you don't listen and you don't pay attention. But yet it's him. He's the one who does not listen and does not pay attention. He just goes with the first thing he hears and he want to make a move on it. Okay, so he has his own company. This other company called him about advertising his business. And they were saying some things to him. And that's probably not what they were going to do. But they was telling him what could possibly come along with this advertisement thing or whatever. And so he heard, we could get you a work truck, we can get you a new pressure washing system, this, that, and the third. And he took it as these people are saying, yeah, we're definitely finna do this. We can even pay for you a place to live if you relocate, this, that, and the third. I think the man was just putting out different options of things that could possibly come along with him advertising his business. And once it gets around, he might run into some people who can support him in his business by giving him a work truck or whatever, or some new equipment or whatever. But that's not what they're finna do. So he comes back and he tells me, oh, I just got a call from this company and they willing to buy me a truck, buy me some working equipment and all this stuff, and they gonna relocate us to another part of another state, this, that, and the third. And so we finna get ready to move and this, that, and the third. And so I'm like, okay, that sounds promising, this, that, and the third. But he didn't misunderstand the conversation. He just took from it what he wanted to get me to be okay with moving, because I'm budging. I'm not budging on the moving thing, because you're not gonna get me somewhere, sir, mistreat me or walk out on me and leave me stuck with this bill that I cannot afford. I'm not going for it. So he trying any and everything to get me to fall into this trap of him moving me out of my comfort zone, so that way he can have total control over me again. And I'm like, sir, I'm not doing that. So after that went down, he called the people back. He was supposed to go meet up with the people or whatever. So he met up with them. So he goes there and he meets up with the people, and they were only telling him basically that with you advertising your business, these are things that you could possibly run into, you know what I'm saying? Not that they were going to do these things for him. And so he ends up calling me back and telling me, oh, they just want to put my business in a magazine, or I could get a billboard or something like that. He was like, they ain't finna move us nowhere, and this, that, and the third. But yet I'm sitting here and I don't want to tell the rent company that, you know what I'm saying, we're going to be moving soon, this, that, and the third. And they're like, okay, how much time do you need? You know, I'm saving up boxes and everything, because he telling me for sure we finna move. This thing finna happen. And so now once that happened, I then started like, you know, trying to listen to his conversations of people trying to do business with him, because he will move at the drop of a dime. And that's in another video too, how we went in, pressure washed this lady's house, and the lady was not even home, wasn't even expecting us to come to pressure wash. She didn't even have the funds on her, so this lady had to scramble up the money to pay him for coming to do a job that she wasn't even ready for him to do yet. She just told him she was interested in getting her place pressure wash, and this man got us out here on the road 4 hours and almost 5.5 hours away from home on a trip where this lady did not even expect him to come and pressure wash the house or whatever. And when this lady pulled up, she looking at me like I'm crazy, because the first person she see is me. She looking at me crazy like, what you doing in front of my house? And I'm like, oh, my old man over here pressure washing the house for you, remember? That lady was like, I didn't tell him I was ready for him to pressure wash the house. But like I said, that was a whole nother video. So now I'm not budging on get moving and all this good stuff. So now he's trying to impregnate me. And I want him to impregnate me, because I wanted to marry this man. I wanted to be in a house with this man. I wanted kids with this man. I wanted a whole life with him. It's just that all his foolishness and his shenanigans, I wanted to come to a halt, because we didn't need all that for the relationship that, you know, for being in a relationship with me. I'm not hard to please, none of that good stuff, but we all aren't, you know what I'm saying? But we just happen to run across these narcissists, and they just got to tear down everything good that we have in us or whatever. And so I was a nice, calm, cool, collected person. Never blew up on him like that or anything until he started pulling it out of me. And then now I turned into, you know what I'm saying, he called the police on me twice. So, you know what I'm saying, I always tell him, let sleeping dogs lie. Don't wake up the beast, because once you wake it up, it's hard for it to come back down, because I try not to use that energy too much. And so once I get into it, it's hard to shut it down. But to him, that was cute. That was funny. He enjoyed seeing me like that. I didn't like being that way, because I could get really, really crazy at the time or whatever. But yeah, narcissists would definitely try to trap you in any way that they can to keep you stuck to them. So like he would say, yeah, because once you have my baby or whatever, I'm going to have custody of the kid, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And you would actually believe it until you actually sit back and think about, ain't no way nobody finna give you no child, sir. You ain't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. You don't have a real job. Why would you be a better candidate than me? Mentally, you will have the child jacked up, which is why you don't have any of your kids now. But you will be so far gone out your mind that you would actually believe that the judge would grant narcissists your child. And in some cases, it happens. Till the judge see otherwise, that it was a bad mistake to give it to the narcissist or whatever. But yeah, just be careful with that. They will try and trap you any way that they can to keep control over you or just to stay in your life. So if we would have got a house together, which we do, that's his way of keeping tabs on us. But I went and shut all that down. I took him off the lease. I told them to stop sending my receipts to him for when I make a payment, because he can clock me that way too. Stop all of that. Cut off all connections. He not here. He ain't sending no payments. He don't need to see no receipts. He don't need to know when something going on in this trailer or whatever. This is my business. This is my home. I've lived in this home, and if I feel like I need to move, which I do, and I know it's coming soon, I have every right to say it's time to move. You ain't even stayed here no whole consecutive year to live in the conditions or even be around any conditions that make you fix your mouth and say, oh, we need to move out of here. You ain't even planning on being here. Why you worried about whether I move somewhere? Because I want you over here where you depending on me. So that means if he discard me, I'm definitely going to be begging you to come back home because I can't afford it by myself, and I need your income to keep it running. No. Girl, no, I'm good. I'm good. I ain't moving until God say so, baby. And where I move to, I'm going to still be straight. And I ain't got to call and depend on him. So, that's my stories about how a narcissist will try and trap you by either getting married, buying a house, or having a child to be the main provider. Any way that they can get you stuck and up under them, where they get to control you and everything else that's around you, they will do it. They definitely will do it, because there's child. I love y'all. Have a great day. I hope y'all are having a productive day. I hope the day is good for y'all. It was sunny outside a minute ago, but baby, them clouds rolled in real fast. So I think we got a storm coming in later on today or whatever. But it done got dark and gloomy outside over here. So I got a couple minutes. I'm going ahead and try to take a nap before I go back to work, because after work, I got hair to do. So your girl got a busy day. I'm going to have a very productive day today. So I'm going to catch y'all. Tomorrow going to be Friday, y'all. It's the weekend. So I hope y'all have a great day. I love y'all. Fall in love with yourself, baby, because that's the best gift and the best thing for you. Because why? You're worth it and you deserve it. And I love you. You better know it. Because I don't make me. You better be loving yourself. All right. I love you. Have a great day.